I began to feel so cheated by God in this turn of events. There were nights I didn't sleep and cried out at night for Mom, but she didn't answer me. One particular night I found myself crying, screaming, and stomping up and down the hall in hysteria, and honestly didn't care who heard me. I dropped to my knees, finally accepting that Mom was really gone, and turned my attention to God for answers. Why, God, why did we go through everything that we did only to lose her anyway? Why did she have to go through so much pain and suffering? I gave her a kidney to save her life. She wasn't supposed to die. As I allowed this pain to finally come out, I felt God's love replace it with peace. When I was brought to my knees and gave up my hold on my own life and relinquished my own selfishness, the answers that I had been looking for were provided. I realized at that moment that God was so very good. It suddenly became quite clear to me that he could have easily taken Mom the day of the transplant or even before the transplant. My kidney would have been given to someone else, and as much as I would have been glad to help that person, the reality was that I would have had so much difficulty in dealing with my feelings of being cheated out of not being able to save my mother. Yes, I finally understood. Had God not granted us those 5 months, I would probably be in the same place I am now, grieving for my mother, but I would not have seen my mother experience the return of her health and share so many wonderful memories with her. The true reality of it was just overwhelming to me. Instead of taking my mother from me, he chose to bless us by giving us 5 more months. I just couldn't see it before. God is so very good. When I got up off my knees that night, my outlook on life changed dramatically. It was as if I was looking through new eyes. I was now seeing life as a perfect vision of God's eyes, and there was never a more beautiful sight to behold. I can say with honest conviction that every day became so much sweeter after this realization of God's love and grace in my life. My friendship with Lawson blossomed into a true, loving relationship. After we had been dating for a few months, Steve shared with me that he had actually met my mother just prior to our transplant. He said that he had stopped by our funeral home one day to ask for directions and found my mother sitting on the porch as she so often liked to do. He recalled that it was one of the most enjoyable conversations that he could remember having. I should add that my mother never shared this meeting with me, but she obviously never forgot it. On a Tuesday afternoon in December 2002, we became husband and wife with God's and Mom's blessing. Steve and I wanted a child of our own from day one, but after 4 exhausting years of undergoing every available in vitro fertilization procedure that was medically possible, we feel that God obviously has a child of another mother in mind that needs us more. No, this child won't have grown in my body, but it is already deeply rooted in my heart. We are still patiently waiting to meet that child that God has chosen for us, but we know that it will arrive in God's time, which is never too early and never too late. Even though I lost my mother 5 years ago, I know that she has never really left me. While undergoing medical procedures to help me conceive, I felt her presence close to me more than once. As I cried in the car after our final in vitro attempt failed, an angel was sent to us in the form of a woman standing beside the passenger side window. She was pressing her hands together as if in prayer and silently mouthing the words, "I am praying for you." As I was drifting off to sleep in my hospital bed after hysterectomy and colon surgery in 2006, I suddenly felt the loving touch of a hand on my left shoulder, yet when I looked to see the third shift nurse I expected to see standing there, I found no one. Yes, my mother was a can-do kind of lady, and if there ever was a way possible for her to reach me, I know that she would have found it or sent an angel to do it for her. As if my cup is not running over enough, God has blessed me in another way that I never dreamed possible. It is no secret that I spent my entire childhood, teenage years, and early adulthood as an overweight person. So with the help of another special angel, my friend Judy Cowan, and Weight Watchers, I have finally dealt with my emotional food issues and put them to bed forever. I have found that life is just so much sweeter, 80 pounds lighter. So I've come to the end of this story, my testimony, but I am at a loss as how I can adequately explain in words how my life has changed forever. Maybe because I know it's not the end. Sure, I will always have times of difficulty and sadness when I miss my mother, But I don't stay there long because I know that God has so much more in store that I can't even begin to imagine what that could possibly be. I wake up every day with the feeling that I can't wait to see what He's going to do in my life today. To better illustrate my thoughts on that subject, I'd like to close by sharing with you something my mother did and said so many times. I have to laugh even now as I reflect on her standing there with her arms folded defiantly across her chest, with that look of fierce determination on her face, shaking her head from side to side, as someone had just questioned her belief that she will succeed in her latest business endeavor. She always tackled every obstacle with her own vision guiding her, and she was usually always right in it. Her response was always the same to those who doubted her, and it is now my response to those who may doubt God's ever-present and enduring faithfulness, love, and hope in our lives. If you don't believe it, just hide and watch. Thank you.